Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rosine, and I run and co founder of Eye on Antisemitism, which used to be Yad Bayad UK, an organization which we set up back in 2007. Um, and we were initially monitoring online anti Semitism through Facebook and MySpace, powtalk.com, and then obviously the main levels, the main social media organizations that came up were Twitter and Facebook, so it goes on. Eye on Anti-Semitism, it's our birthday today, so what good way of celebrating our birthday than starting our new live streaming, live interview site today. We will be interviewing many people that are dealing with anti-Semitism. We will be doing radio live interviews. We will be talking about what we do, what type of things we're lobbying about week after week. I can tell you there has been a decade of things that have been going on. If you're on our Twitter site, which is Eye on Antisemitism, at Antisemitism you'll be able to follow us on here. When we first started in 2007, we started under the name of Yad Bayad UK, Yad Bayad in Hebrew meaning hand in hand. And we started on Twitter back, as I said, in 2007, 2008, when Twitter took off. We had account after account taken down by excuse me, by bots and by trolls and people who were anti-Semitic, of course, mainly from the far left, mainly Palestinianists and BDS supporters. We had over 250,000 followers. These were not bots at the time. People didn't know what a bot was, and you couldn't buy followers. So we had real followers from all different sides of the political spectrum. People like Andrew Breitbart, people like The Commentator, all of these organizations that now you see every day. So I want to start today. You're not going to see my face today, but I'm going to start today by talking a little bit about our birthday and what we've done over the past few years. So today is our birthday. And we started to monitor anti-Semitism on Facebook, as I said, with people who obviously had a hatred for the Jewish people, Holocaust deniers. And we have a very, very simple guideline in order to either expose or to try and eradicate accounts which have vehement Jew hatred. And we don't work politically, we work from the left to the right. We call it the Red Green Alliance, but it's anybody who basically posts things that we believe should not be posted, threats and constant harassment with anti-Semitic tropes, etc. And our work over the years has sort of taken different view. We realized after 5 years that you can't eradicate every anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish, anti-Israel account on Twitter. So what we started to do was monitor. We spread our work towards obviously events, attending anti-Israel demos, attending anti-Semitic demos. We then spread out a little bit more and decided that all the very, very antagonistic accounts, ones that were threatening accounts, threatening people's lives, what we would do is we would basically report these to the police. Okay, so we build up a file of people. We don't just report to the police just like that. We make sure that we have the right person, the right people's details, and we make a file on each and every account that we did. And this was, as I said, back in 2007, 2008, when people didn't quite understand what Twitter was. There weren't that many lawyers and media people on there. It was a very basic program. And we started to do this because we were harassed and bullied. We had our families' details put all over Twitter and social media blogs. We were doxxed many times, threatened, blackmailed, you name it. But we got through it. And over the years, there were many, many people that we exposed and who used to harass us. Names that you probably will know now. I don't need to really go through all the names, but you know, we started getting harassment from people like Evelyn Cook and Jason Schumann, who's connected to Alison Chablo, and so the connections go on. And later on, what I will do is I will give you a dot to dot, a sort of graph which shows you the connections between groups that you are seeing today, such as Antifa and Resisting Hate and exposing the EDL, you know, all of these type of groups which have basically morphed. They've spread themselves out, but they're only focusing again on one sort of hatred. And they are trying to bring down fake news, and obviously who polices fake news. It's up to you what fake news is. And so it's sort of like anti-Semitism, but a lot of the sides have morphed into one. And obviously we talk about now the Labour Party. At the time, Jeremy Corbyn wasn't a Labour Party, the head of the Labour Party. So we decided to start Jeremy Corbyn Watch, which was on Facebook. And we found that Facebook was primarily a very important way of getting our message through with regards to the Labour Party in 2015. And we worked very, very hard with that. So as you can see, on our Twitter, I'm trying to move up the wrong thing, but on our Twitter page is very important. We challenge organizations, including organizations within our own Jewish community, on things that we believe that should be challenged. So I'm going to give you a background and a little bit of pieces of the bean today. This is something which is quite interesting. As I said, we have always maintained that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, is anti-Judaism. And obviously we are extremely strong in our against organizations which the anti-fascist organizations which are really fascist, that don't have Israel's back, that don't support Israel as part of a democratic state. And obviously Judaism comes out of our Zionism. So we're very particular on what we do. So let's go through what happened today. So 3 hours ago, we see yesterday that Luton Palestine Solidarity Campaign had an alert, and their alert, I mean, it's quite hilarious, really. I mean, this is what they're trying to do and what they've been trying to do for many years, is to boycott any food, any product from that is made in Israel, which is produced in Israel. And if you know Israel, you'll know that the moshavim, which are the farms, the agricultural side, as well as the food side, the food supply side, there are Palestinian Arab workers working with Jewish farmers, This is where they earn their money to get their jobs. I'll go into the history of what Palestine is, where it came from, and all of those questions at another point. But we're just actually going down. We're actually looking at things that we've done today and yesterday and over the weekend. So the BDS is the Boycott, Divestment, Sanctions Group. It's largely a decade-old organisation, which is not particularly one organisation. It has the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign here in the UK, and they do variable types of campaigns to try to delegitimize, defame, bully Israel into certain things. At the moment, they've got the Eurovision they're trying to bully so that Eurovision, doesn't happen, which is not going to work. One of their main hobbies, and I say hobbies because if you look at the general consensus of who actually belongs to the BDS groups, specifically in the UK, we would call them the Grey Rinse Brigade. Okay, they used to go to bingo, but now they decide to stick on some sort of campaign against Israel by not buying avocados from Israel at Aldi. And Aldi is a very well-known organization which is German, and I don't think the Germans particularly like people that are anti-Semitic and anti-Jewish. I can go on about that. I'll tell you a nice story about that. So we're telling people today basically that if they're going to go and buy avocados, I'm allergic, but if you're going to buy anything today, please buy your avocados. Okay? And we tag Aldi into that. Another interesting story which we picked up today was about the Muslim Brotherhood in France. They have their 36th annual conference in 3 weeks. Bourget is close to Paris. And speakers include, obviously, many of the key Muslim Brotherhood speakers. And partners are included Hamas charity, the CBSP. We have put a wonderful little map here, and you can see exactly what the event is all about. You can do your own research on that. But that is a particularly good account, which is Islamism map. It's not necessarily Islamophobic, but it brings out a lot of information about what is happening. And then we came across this absolutely delightful, wonderful video by Mohammed Saud. Now, you know that the Israeli elections are taking place in a few days, and it's been a battle of personalities, of lies, of bang and forth. In English, it's very difficult to pick up what's going on in the Israeli elections. You do have a lot of people on Twitter who are trying to keep you up to date. But here is Mohammed Saud. He's in Saudi Arabia. And he, in Hebrew, is talking about how he's supporting Israel. And Rak Bibi, which you're hearing a lot on it, he's saying, only Bibi.
I would like to say, Olihim Natan Lanu, Rosh Mimshala Gadol, Rak Bibi, Olihim Natan Lanu, Rosh Mimshala Gadol, Rak Bibi, I am not Rabot Lanu, Rosh Mimshala Gadol, Rak Bibi, I am not Rabot, I am not bot, I'm real. Thank you so much. And please support Bibi. And I understand why you write something like that in your comment. I'm not going to say it. I don't support that guy. You know what I mean.
Okay, so Rak Bibi. So today in the Israeli elections, Yair Lapid, who's part of the Blue and White Party now with Gantz and Ashkenazi, have been basically saying that all Netanyahu supporters on social media are bots. And so he's come out as an Arab man to say that I'm not a bot and I support Bibi, which I thought was a little bit of a light relief for today. Okay, I'm just going to move my camera a little bit. As I said, it's the first live feed that we're doing now for our organisation. Okay, so now this is a really important thing that we're lobbying against. We generally don't like to deplatform people. It's a way of silencing free speech, and obviously we want free speech. So what we do is monitor organizations and events along with Campaign for Truth, who are the events organizers with Sharon Claff, and you'll hear Sharon Claff at some point. I might do a little interview with her today. But this morning we made a complaint regarding the platforming of a particular speaker. And I'll show you. He's right there. This is Danny Rich from the Liberal Shul. who's in a lot of controversy for, I suppose, dining with Jeremy Corbyn. Here, basically, we have Eddie Jacob and Sabtir Singh. One of the most prolific people in the news at the moment is this man, Mohammed Akunji. Now, the Liberal Shore are the Liberal Shore. They are a stream of Judaism which is particularly liberal. They believe in different aspects of Judaism and the way that we pray and the way that we go on with our lives, and that's another story. It's quite deep. But this man here works for an organisation called Farouk Bourgeois, and Farouk Bourgeois are solicitors. They're mainly Muslim-owned solicitors, lawyers, and they go around and they represent people that are a little bit distasteful to a lot of people, including us. I think they've represented George Galloway, and now they're representing the ISIS fighters, Shemin Bagan and another one. And in 2013, this organisation sued or tried to sue a few people on Twitter in 2013 for libel, for saying things and tweets that didn't agree with by a man called Fiaz Mughal, who owns Faith Matters and runs Tell Mama UK, which is an anti-Islamophobia organisation. During that time, it was very, very odd that Fiaz Mughal became friends with a vehement Holocaust denier called Alison Chablo and got information on people that he wanted to get information from. And some of the information was my address. And Farouk Bourgeois solicitors took that information and sent me and a few other people who were Israeli activists summons for libel for a tweet. Thankfully, had a good lawyer, and that was basically they told them to go away and never come back. However, this man has come back. He's come back and he's now representing ISIS fighters. And the liberal Jewish or liberal Judaism, which is their logo, which I grew up in liberal Judaism from the beginning, decided to set up an event this Thursday night called Hot Potatoes, and blimey, it's going to be hot potatoes. And they decided to platform these speakers. So we just made our little complaint. We rang them. We said that we didn't think that, as being part of the liberal Judaism community, specifically like Reform, that these people should be platformed, particularly this man, the man who is representing Shemin Bagan of ISIS. And we were very polite when we do it, and we try to be very polite when we disagree or we lobby people that we believe that shouldn't be platformed, etc. Okay, so we're also posting a little bit about female terrorist who has been who killed Israeli Jews, and she was banned from Germany. So we've done a little post on that. And as you can see, our day-to-day work is really important. We know that, you know, there are people that are taking, it's BDS London and protest stencil, or pencil stencil we call them. They are hijacking billboards of JC Decker, who do all the billboards in the London area at bus stops, etc. And they've been putting in for many years anti-Israel propaganda. And we see here that there is an organisation that is covering that with stickers. So we do a lot with Jeremy Corbyn, and we do a lot with Labour, and we expose stuff of Labour, but we have a main page on Jeremy Corbyn Watch, which you can see on Facebook, and Sadiq Khan Watch is also on Facebook. So take a look at that when you see it. So this is the type of work we do. We're very prominent on Twitter and Facebook. We talk about the issues of the day. We talk about people who we believe that we want to find. We also intersperse it with what is happening in Israel. And that goes, as I said, at Antisemitism I. It's a very important one because we do lots and lots of political work on here, lots of lobbying, and lots of things that basically will expose anti-Semitism and the boycott divestment movement. So that's in a nutshell what we do. We've been doing that for 10 years. We're not funded, as most grassroots groups aren't funded, apart from the large ones. But I think we do more work than them, actually. And we mainly do it for the love of it. We do it because we need to do it. And this is why I'm showing you all the things that we do today. This is just, I think, from today and yesterday. Yeah, so you can see we get accounts like this removed from Facebook and Twitter, but they do come back very quickly. We exposed before anybody the Will I Am comments about Michael Jackson and how he believes it's just like the Holocaust, in his words. We talk about Linda Sarsour a lot, and we lobby the Home Secretary into banning anti-Semites. So you can see what we do. We also go to a lot of events. We film a lot of events. It's on our other account, which is in the description box today. So that's an introduction to Eye on Anti-Semitism. It's an introduction to what we do. And we're going to do a lot of stuff here. We're going to be doing live feeds. We're going to be doing interviews again. We used to do interviews a long time ago. Of course, we do live feeds on Facebook, and then we'll probably upload them to here. But we're going to do a lot of live interviews on Iron Anti-Semitism live feed. So thank you for listening to this. I hope you enjoy it. We'll upload it to our other Iron Anti-Semitism accounts all over social media, and we hope to see you soon.